I'm going to talk a little bit now, just to give you an introduction to Findacure and why we think collaboration is really important in rare diseases. Hopefully more people will appear, we have some time for networking and a few very interesting lightning talks with scary precise timings which I'll follow later. Okay. So the first thing to do is just introduce you to the team. We are Findacure. You can see me looking very smiley here. I'm Rick, I'm the scientific officer for Findacure. And my job really is to work on our repurposing programs and to try and encourage all the scientists out there to talk to patient groups as much as possible as we get really good collaborations. With us tonight we have both Flora Rafai over here, our executive director, and Libby Reed, who's hanging over here with the camera. So Libby's going to be taking some pictures tonight, which we're going to use for our kind of publications and that kind of thing later on. If you don't want your picture taken or to be used in anything, just let us know and we'll avoid your face. I'd also like to mention at this moment ABCAM, who very kindly sponsored the event tonight. So they've given us a roof over our heads and some pretty pleasant prosecco to drink. And there'll be food joining in very shortly. That'll appear here at 7:30 and some more later. That's all going to be labelled for vegetarianism and that kind of thing. Anyone who needs to know anything with food content, it should be out there. If you're not sure, feel free to ask us. Okay, with that, I'll tell you about Findacure. We think rare diseases are a really huge problem. There are over 7,000 different rare diseases out there, and that number is constantly growing. And these affect roughly 350 million people worldwide, about 3.5 million people in the UK. And that's a really sizable chunk of the population. But there's only about 400 licensed treatments for those rare diseases, and that's clearly a problem. We've got millions of patients left without treatments, and really without much hope of treatment, because the very rarity of each individual condition means it's quite unlikely that anyone's going to research it, and even more unlikely that a pharmaceutical company can find a financial incentive to actually repurpose drugs or develop drugs for it. What is a really big positive for the rare disease community, though, are the patients, if you like. We think we've got a really informed patient population, an engaged patient population, and they've got the power and the determination to deliver change for themselves, and that's something we can harness and hopefully use to drive research in a really positive way. So Findacure kind of works in these two major areas, and the first of those is empowering those patient groups. We want to help patient groups form, we want to help them collaborate as much as possible with researchers and give them the tools they need to do that. So we run networking events like this to try and help patients meet with researchers. We run workshops to help train those patient groups. We have an online portal which we're developing, and we have a peer mentoring scheme, all of which is designed to help patient groups themselves. And then the other major aim that we have is to promote collaboration to develop new treatments. And that's really, the treatment development particularly is where I'm working, particularly in drug repurposing. And the collaboration really highlighted by the networking event and our conference that we held earlier in the year. I'm going the wrong way. So what I want to talk about really is collaborations at Findacure, because like I say, we think collaborations between patient groups, researchers, clinicians are really a crucial thing to drive the research in rare diseases that the patients need. One of the big collaborations we've got going on is the drug repurposing social impact bond, and this is quite sprawling with collaborations that are involved. What we're trying to do with this is develop a new financial incentive to repurpose generic drugs. We're doing that by looking at rare diseases and trying to find out how much they cost the NHS, and hopefully trying to save the NHS money by delivering new generic treatments for them. So what we're working on right now is proving the concept works, and to do that we've enlisted collaborations with all of these different people. So Taxi UK are an example of a charity we're working with. I think Julie is here right now, we're working with that. So we're trying to help, with their help we're developing cost of illness models for Friedreich's ataxia to understand what that costs for the NHS. Costello Medical Consulting are helping us do that, so we've got Annabelle and Rick here, Costello today, who are really doing huge amounts of awesome work helping us price these models out. We've also worked with Great Ormond Street on our congenital hyperinsulinism model, and Numbers for Good, who are a consultancy we work with to try and understand what social financing is and how we can build a financial model to fund the work we want to do. Another collaboration is with Elsevier. So we're really fortunate enough that Elsevier Professional Services happened to see a talk by Nick one day and liked the work we're doing and decided to do some data mining for us. And this has allowed us to build a whole range of different data on congenital hyperinsulinism and essentially find some disease pathways which are helping us understand the potential drug repurposing opportunities. And in this collaboration, we have to engage with Great Ormond Street and also the Northern Congenital Hyperinsulinism Service. So we're trying to bring people in data mining together with patients and particularly with clinicians themselves. Something I want to talk about more is our crowdfunding campaign we recently ran with the Children's Hypertension Charity. So this was an approach from a group of parents really who were keen to form their own charity and wanted to get some seed funding, if you like, to build that up. And we decided to help them by trying to work together with them to run a crowdfunding campaign. And this collaboration, we think, delivered lots to Findacure and lots to them, so I'll tell you a bit more about it now. Firstly though, it's important to note that all of these things are actually connected again, so in a way the work from all of these is feeding into one another, so we really think you can leverage these collaborations in a quite powerful way and make sure things feed in everywhere. Okay, so the crowdfunding campaign we ran was really designed to try and help the charity feed money into research primarily, but also to run their first workshops, which would be kind of bringing patients together with researchers to understand the current research in CHI. And hopefully as well to run some patient meetings where kids can meet other kids with the same illness, and that makes quite a difference to their lives. So the campaign went pretty well. We got over 167 backers on the campaign. The videos we produced had 966 views. Their Facebook page for this charity has nearly 1,800 likes, which is more than our own website. So they've really driven their awareness amazingly well, and we're quite proud of that. And we raised £6,000 for charity too, which isn't a bad thing. We were hoping to raise a bit more, that would be the truth, but we think there's a huge number of benefits that came through here, and we're sure that with this amount of money they can do some really positive work. One of the things I think we really did help with is helping the families to tell their stories. We developed those materials to try and support the crowdfunding campaign itself. And these included some graphics, which they can use now on their websites. Importantly, videos with patients themselves telling their stories. This is Jessica, who had her pancreas removed because of the illness, and telling everyone really what it's like to live with that lifetime very severe diabetes. We got the parents telling stories of the time of diagnosis as well. Matt Hammond, who's one of the parents who's founded this charity, came to give a talk at our conference, and he was fantastic actually. He gave a really personal account of dealing with this kind of illness, and he was speaking to people in this room, the pharma side of things, the charities, and it was quite a different and powerful talk he gave. And finally, we've really helped hopefully get lots of articles written about this disease. Lily's done a great job writing loads of press releases, and we've managed to get lots of stories in local newspapers and websites, spreading the word about CHI. So we think we've done some hopefully, work good for the charity. For us, it's been great because we've helped them to engage with research, and they've helped us hugely with what we're doing. So we've run a focus group with these guys, giving us an idea of what CHI actually is like to live with and what new treatments they need, and that's going to feed into our social impact bond work. The work that Costello have done building this cost of illness model, we're going to release to the charities so they can use it to help in their funding applications. The data mining that Elsevier have done to build these awesome disease models, we want to try and find out what parts of that are most useful to them to communicate about the disease, or for fundraising as well, and feed that back into the charity. And the charity have also agreed to help us in filming some videos to talk about the work we've done with Elsevier and how that's going to help them and us. So we feel like we've gained huge amounts from this, and I personally have learned massively from working with patients. So it's something that I think I can't emphasise enough. This kind of collaboration is great, and we can learn huge amounts from people in different areas. Okay, so that's what I want to say. This is the plan for the evening. What's going to happen is we're going to have some 5-minute lightning talks from our fantastic, generous speakers, as you can see here. It's going to be interspersed about the night, so to keep things moving along, we will probably ring the bell as if we can attract your attention. If that fails, I'll scream and shout a little bit. When that happens, please be kind, turn, face, have a listen to what people have got to say. There will be time for a single question for each talk, and after that, we'll carry on with our networking. For the speakers, you do need to listen to the bell. This is a bit of a challenge. We meet 5 minutes, and we probably will ring the bell at 5 minutes just to let you know that the time is coming to an end. Please do feel free just to sum up what you're doing and tell us the basic message. We'd like to get some questions, and then we will continue, and hopefully you'll get lots of interaction from the audience. So with that, thank you very much for your attention. Please do enjoy the evening. Have plenty of drinks. Food will be on shortly, and let any of us with Findacure patches know if you've got any issues.